Feeling very exhausted from racism on solo travels, from PPL in hostel, not locals. I'm visibly East Asian and American. Unfortunately, racism at hostels and in the backpacking community is a thing. I have had worse experiences with Europeans and Australians, but I generally come across them way more than Americans. Some Americans can be dumb as heck though, because they'll assume I'm an Asian tourist and say shoot in front of me thinking I don't understand. Happened mainly in Europe. I find the power dynamic really bad in C, where some white people seem to love the glorified treatment they get for being white and have no shame saying the most racist shit when they are a fucking guest in that country. I just wanted to say I empathize, and there's always a reason why every time I stay in a hostel and there's another POC, I feel like more often than not we insta-bond and have a good venting session. Crazy how many people are coming at you in this thread. Sorry to hear about your experience, seems like it's certainly not just cultural linguistic differences. Loved traveling Mexico, but definitely met some dense MFS in the hostels there. Locals were always lovely.
Yo, what's up? It's Digital Danny here. You already know, the ultimate digital nomad, living the dream, globetrotting, making money while you sit in your cubicle. But hey, even legends like me need a little help sometimes. So here's the deal. I need you to hit that like button, smash subscribe, and get this, click on my Amazon affiliate links. I know, I shouldn't have to ask for help, but the game has changed. My dropshipping empire is about to blow up, and I need some quick funds to push it to the next level. Oh, and don't worry, you don't even need to buy the stuff that I recommend. Just click the link, buy anything on Amazon, and boom, a piece of the pie comes my way. Easy, right? You're helping me build my business, and you get to feel good about contributing to the next digital mogul success. Win-win. Now do your part.
Ugh, so many defensive molding white people in the comments. OP, I totally get it. The amount of racism found in the solo travel hostel communities is staggering and exhausting. It's really dampened my traveling experience as well, because they get really entitled and defensive when you try to have a conversation about it. I remember white travelers in Pi mocking black Americans for their broken, ghetto, English, or saying the most vile things about refugees and immigrants while in Central America. Or saying vile Islamophobic shit when hearing the prayer call in southern Cambodia. Most are completely clueless or don't care about colonization and neo-imperialism or history in general. They are definitely in their own bubble, and the scene is still very white. All I can say is call them out when you can, and make them uncomfortable back. Solidarity to you. People in the replies going further than just disagreeing with you, straight to antagonizing you? Very confusing, but maybe there's a lesson in it somewhere. We always assume people who travel are open-minded, especially people brave and adventurous enough to do it solo, but I've seen some interactions here that prove otherwise. Sorry you went through that, and for the people putting you through it again in the comments lol. I am a black American, 26M, and have been traveling Latin American since April. Started in Mexico, and working my way south. I have had a similar experience to you. I just keep it pushing. The whole world is racist towards black peoples for no reason at all. Every time I hear a comment I don't like, I don't even engage in that group of people anymore. I am okay with being by myself when I travel. I'm okay with finding another group to hang out with if I want to be social. Never let these degenerates get in the way of your travels and your dreams. I'm Latin American and was also confused by this. The word ghetto has no relation to skin color here. It's just a word for bad part of town, and if I think about its origins I think first of Warsaw and Jewish people being forced to a walled area. I knew it would be bad going in. All I can say is it's not in your head. The world is far more racist and mean than people want to admit on the internet. Have teenage Euros running through hotel halls calling my friend's co-worker Monkey N, and the hotel just lets it slide because it's a big group. I'm sorry you're going through this shoot. Whether you tell him to fork off, put on headphones, complain to management with threats of reviews if it's not taken care of, it all sounds emotionally exhaustive. Audiobooks and ASMR are my go-to recos, but get away from those assholes in the easiest way for your peace of mind. Chances are racist are generally piece of shoot people that conversations are the emotional equivalent of chewing nails for breakfast. Grab a packet of those lime candy peanuts from OXXO for me. While I don't know exactly what you've experienced, I do think that the traveler subculture is much more homogeneous and privileged than it first appears. It seemed very international and open-minded when I started traveling, but over time I started to see patterns. They skew white and Northern European, or from the Anglo-settler countries, left-leaning and secular, probably but not always privileged. Huge swathes of the world are underrepresented on the hostel scene, often BCUZ of cultural attitudes against solo traveling in addition to just income. Not bad things necessarily, but just food for thought. I have a lot more fun interacting with the local culture and being discerning about who I hang with. I'm North African and honestly I just learned to avoid interacting with white people when I travel, and if I have to, I try to create a formal distance. In France, for example, I speak English even though I can speak French. The underhand racism is constant, and if you comment on it they'll tell you that you're just being too sensitive. There's no winning. Black people don't have global ownership of the word ghetto, and I can imagine a lot of scenarios where a French person would use the word Negro without understanding its connotation in American English. Not to say you're full of shit, the world outside USA is definitely racist, but when traveling in other countries it's best to remember that your specific historical generational trauma is not necessarily at the forefront of everyone else's conscience. Are these things being said in a way that is directed toward you in such a way that it's meant to cause discomfort? Or is it just people being ignorant because they are from a different culture or country than yours?
Yo, what's up, legends? It's your boy Digital Danny coming at you from Ibiza with another absolute banger of a recommendation that's going to level up your entire life. Alright, first of all, you're looking at these bad boys. The Sony WH-1000XM4 noise-canceling headphones. I mean, come on, do I even need to say anything? Premium sound, top-tier noise cancellation, and the best part, you can finally drown out that annoying neighbor's dog barking at 2 a.m. Or, your own inner thoughts. Either way, I'm obsessed. Now here's why you need them. First, dual device pairing. Yeah, multiple devices. So you can switch between your phone call with Karen from accounting and your Spotify without lifting a finger. Flex on your friends, make that seamless switch, and boom, you're back to ignoring work calls like a pro. And get this, 30-hour battery life. That's right, 30 hours. That's basically a full day of me ignoring the real world while jet-setting around the globe pretending to work. You charge these puppies for 10 minutes, and boom, 5 hours of playback. Perfect for my quick sprints between sipping overpriced cappuccinos and finding myself in exotic locations. And the noise canceling? Bruh, it's like putting the entire world on mute. You think your ex can break your concentration now? Nah, chief, not today. Speak to chat mode? Forget it. I'm ghosting mid-convo without even touching those. Touch controls on the ear cups, so you can adjust the volume and skip tracks just by swiping. It's like the future is now, and naturally, I'm living in it. Links to get your own set of these next-level headphones are right there in the description. Don't be that guy still rocking the free earbuds that came with your phone. Get yourself a pair and thank me later when your life sounds as premium as mine. Digital Danny out. Link in the description.
Even though it's clear that they use the word ghetto to denigrate the place where they are staying, people here are acting like there's some ambiguity. If someone came to their houses and described it as ghetto, I bet they wouldn't be debating its historical significance in light of the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising. These comments are disgusting. Op is describing her experience as black woman and everybody telling her what she experienced isn't a big deal. What even is this subreddit if people can't share their experience from their own perspective? Thank you. This is a very kind message and I appreciate you understanding the nuance of the experience and all the various forms the racism in the hostels takes. I have been calling him out one by one. I'm defo not one to sit down and take it, never will be. Exhausted but we move comrade. This is something that I experienced in Thailand and it kinda soured the trip quite a lot. I'm South American but look quite European, so people don't always assume straight away that I'm not European. But well, it's not like I hide who I am, and chatting and exchanging culture is one of the fun parts of solo travel, but when people learn where I'm from the change in attitude is night and day in mere minutes. I didn't had slurs thrown at me, but it was quite obvious I was being ignored or not taken as seriously. And the attitude is awful. So many people say they like the friendly locals, when they meant to say they like being glorified and treated as a superior being for being white. Heard so much mockery, disinterest and disrespect for the local culture and customs, it was just such a turn off. It's a crowd that proud themselves of being world explorers, but it seems they never left the depths of their own asses in the first place. Totally agree. People think they're all enlightened because they went to some cheap spot abroad and found themselves. Meanwhile, shock horror, they are actually racist as shoot and just followed the bog standard typical backpacker route. No, you're not alone. I'm black from Africa and more often than not experience racism in some form when traveling, more so in Europe. Some people need to stop acting like racism is non-existent. Unless you experience it yourself you won't know. And this is coming from someone in a family with many nationalities cultures. Don't let them get you down. You're there to have a good time. I absolutely agree with you about the subculture. I know it has the appearance of being all hippie, we love everyone, but it is so not that. I wish it were more diverse. Now that I'm traveling full-time and I only speak English so far, learning Spanish, my friend group has become so white lol. I'm a WOC and I get so sick of hearing these same mildly racist, sexist and homophobic conversations over and over wherever I go. I'm sure OP is just as exhausted reading these comments. I sure as heck am. Sorry OP for this experience. I'm a white American but would also been pissed hearing people talk that way. Regardless of the specific wording, the intent to dehumanize non-white people as well as poor local people isn't okay, and we shouldn't let it become normalized in solo travel culture. And Negro would be a very normal word to a non-native English speaker, especially if you're not chronically online and super fluent. Others throwing around the N-word lightly is definitely not okay, though. Shame you're having a shoot time, OP. Hope you can get with a good crowd for the days you still have left. I am also francophone, and while it does not have the same strength as the English N-word, it definitely is not the usual word and is very strange and louche to use. Especially from younger folks. The normal word is noir, as OP said. I would call that racist if I heard someone say that back in Europe, again especially a younger person who you expect knows better.
As someone who's been around the world with nothing but a backpack and a Wi-Fi signal, I read plenty of travel books, but The Adventures of Mr. Brightside by Ryan Jacobson, now this is the real deal. Imagine living out all your travel dreams, staying in luxury penthouses one day, then stuffing your face with street scorpions the next. That's a wild ride I can respect. Jacobson's got this insane ability to make you feel like you're sitting right next to him, sipping champagne one moment, then scrambling to figure out how to survive in a hostel in the next. The guy's not afraid to get his hands dirty, and he's got the stories to prove it. But don't get me wrong, it's not the outrageous travel antics that make this book shine. It's the way Jacobson finds humor in everything, from getting hit in the face by an elephant, seriously, who does that, to losing himself in the chaos of international travel. His writing style, hilarious, relatable, and exactly what you need to keep flipping pages while planning your own escape from the 9-to-5. If you've ever wondered whether backpacker life or the baller experience is better, this book's got the answer. Spoiler, it's both, but only if you're cool enough to roll with the punches. So yeah, if you want a mix of real travel insights and laugh out loud moments, pick this up. Trust me, your next layover will thank you. Digital Danny signing off. Professional wanderer, Wi-Fi whisperer, and lover of all things ridiculous. Link in the description.
I mean, it might. The language we use carries connotations that we don't intend or realize all the time. In the US context at least, the word ghetto came to be primarily used to describe lower-income black urban neighborhoods in the mid-20th century, and then in the late 20th century started to be applied more broadly to cultural trends associated with lower-income African Americans, but not trends associated with lower-income white Americans. If you say your white friend sagging his pants a ton is being ghetto, you might not intend it as a racial thing, but what you are basically saying is, you are dressing like a lower-income urban black way. You are literally saying that Americans and French people use the N-word, which is clearly not okay in either of those places, and people are like, nah, it's fine. It is so not okay. And also, if you are privileged enough to travel around different continents and speak English somewhat well, I would think you should very well know this word is not okay. Like, everyone watches TV and has internet amp, social media, and this is 20. I am a black French woman, and usually the term Negro is used among other black people as like a greeting, kind of synonymous to the N-word. No French person is going around saying the word Negro. The word black would be used, noir, to describe a person, object, or situation. The word Negro in French is not used in everyday language. So if the people in the hostel were not black throwing the word around, it could be due to racism. Agreed sis, but what do we expect from Redditors? The usual oh well we can say N-word cause blah blah comments are expected. The sane ones from others are healing though. I know I'm not crazy regardless of if a bunch of racists or idiots try and tell me I am lol. So sorry you're experiencing this, and sorry so many people in these comments are being assholes to you. I think generally when traveling and staying in hostels you'll encounter a lot of people you probably wouldn't encounter in your day-to-day life. These people should all know better, but unfortunately a lot of people out there are either ignorant or just don't care, as evidenced by some of the comments here. Hopefully you can find some like-minded people to chat with or just try to enjoy your own company. I tend to just keep to myself in most hostels and mostly just use the hostel for sleeping, so maybe try to spend more of your time out of the hostel if possible. I can't comment on whether this is a common hostel experience or not, but I hope you have more positive experiences in the future and that this doesn't affect your interest in traveling.
All right, so listen up, fellow Wanderlust warriors. If you're into travel books that are both hilarious and educational, like actually educational, not just some influencers' recycled travel quotes, then let me put you on to my all time favorite, In the Sunburned Country by Bill Bryson. Now, Bryson may be an old fogey. Let's be clear, the guy probably travels with a fanny pack full of Rolaids, but the man does some of the funniest research about local history you'll ever read. It's like he'll tell you about a spider in Australia that can kill a horse, and then pivot to the fact that a human being still willingly lives here, sipping a flat white in some beachside cafe. It's absurd. It's hysterical. And it makes you wonder why anyone would leave the comfort of their Wi-Fi and unlimited data plan to come face to face with things that want to eat you. But what really makes Bryson stand out is how he weaves his trip through Australia with its wild history. Like, did you know that the place was basically settled as a giant prison colony? Mad respect to those OG convicts. The whole thing will make you appreciate how epic and insane this sunburned island really is. He'll have you laughing 1 second and genuinely grateful for your chance to experience a country that's simultaneously laid back and trying to kill you in 100 different ways. Anyway, once you've had your mind blown by Bill's comedic genius, pack your bags. Don't forget the SPF 50, and maybe I'll catch you on the beach at Surfer's Paradise, living my best digital nomad life. Working remotely and laughing at how you still think you need to take time off for vacations. Until that day, though, why not click that affiliate link in my description? Not saying I'm trying to buy my next flat white off your commission or anything, but I'll toast to you while I'm basking in the endless summer. Cheers to adventure, questionable decision making, and chasing Wi-Fi in paradise. Affiliate link. Remember to like and subscribe.